Yo, the lies told that you never make it. Hopeless, so it seems. Eyes closed, hands open wide to embrace your dreams. Sometimes you gotta take a loss just to get the win. Like lots of sin was popping in like oxygen when boxes win. Focus on the mental, never lose like a smooth instrumental. Better choose on the move in a pinto. Choose when I get to, never lose smooth on the move, but it's simple. Never give up and we running it maybe. We just keep winning, we conquering daily. Envision and pay me, it's never this way. We indigenous, maybe we winning this crazy. Your opportunity, your opportunity, your opportunity, it's your opportunity, your opportunity, your opportunity, your opportunity, it's your opportunity, your opportunity, your opportunity, your opportunity, it's your opportunity, your opportunity, your opportunity.
Yeah, welcome all, ladies and gentlemen. It is Thursday. It is October the 3rd, and it is the Lion Villain Report with your boy, Russell Wayne, on Lock Pick Thursday. How are you doing out there right here and right now? Lock Pick Thursday. We're going to get to that in a minute. Let me take care of some business real quick right here. We're broadcasting live into the Lion Villain Squad Facebook page. Thank you to everybody that is liking, sharing, and following this content right here, because you are the juice that makes the engine go. Right there. We're broadcasting live into our YouTube page, which is at Lions Villain Squad. Thank you for subscribing to the YouTube channel. That way you can type into the comments, hey, I took care of that thing for you, because that's Pete the Unaliver right there in there. Over 54,000 villains in our Facebook. We love the way that we fan. We love being able to come here every day. We're also broadcasting live into the Lions News, Detroit Lions News podcast with Joe Chap and the boys, also in JC Sports Network right there. We are brought to you by NFL Shop, the affiliate marketing partners right there with the Villain Squad. You can use that QR code and get yourself 25% off right there. And also, my beautiful wife right there, Ashton Metler, my advocate for autism awareness right there. And I'm putting a shout out to her because on her page, she's offering resources. She shares resources for parents that have children with special needs. So I have decided that through the Villain Squad, we are going to donate our stars to helping her get her page off the ground so she can share more resources out there. So welcome one, welcome all. Man, that was a little bit rough right there. So let's get in there. Faith, family, and then football. That's what we do here at the Villain Squad. It's faith, family, then football. In that order, we use football to spend time with our families and create memories. We don't let football use us because we have our priorities straight, which is why we can like some of the Packer fans and the Bear fans. We just don't like your teams right there. But let's say good morning to everybody in the chat. Dwayne Keene, what's up, brother? You're usually the first one in here. I love it. I love it. Davey says, good morning. Tigers baseball. Let's throw that in there. Let's throw that up while we're going through the comments. The Tigers are moving on. Pound that like button if you're liking that. The Detroit Tigers. I know this is a Lions show, but we can love our Tigers. Damn it. Pound that like button if you're liking that the Tigers are moving on. Not only did they make the playoffs, but playoffs, they were left for dead in July. And this team came roaring back. Somehow they snuck into the playoffs, but they had to be the best team in baseball to get to the playoffs. That's the thing that people seem to miss, because they look at the records and they say this team or that team. The Tigers had to be the best team in baseball in order just to make the playoffs. But they're in there now. All you got to do is make it. Now you have a chance. 2-game sweep down in Houston. Hinge gets his revenge. I love it. I love it. Good morning. It's a great day to be a Lion One Pride. Subscribe to that YouTube page. Those were all the people that came in before. Go Tigers. Good morning, Lions fans. Lions family and villains from Henry Gray. It's good to see you on there. Matthew saying go Tigers. Good morning to you, Matthew. Good morning to you, Mark. Good morning to you, Chad. Good morning to Elise Memes. Right here, we're going to do something special for you, Elise. We want to do something special for you because now that we have more than one graphics designer, besides myself, and now there's Elise and Steve. I think that I want to start running like little contests right here for the memes that go up. And Elise has this meme that she put up with Taylor Swift on it that is going viral right now. And congratulations to you, because that's what that's why you use the page. That's why you use the page, because we have a huge network of people. We can get this out there, and every once in a while, from this page, some of those things catch fire. And it was your meme, Elise Memes. So I'm going to put a shout out to you right now, because you are our memer of the month, and we're going to do something special for you. I'm not going to tell you what it is yet, but I'm thinking that, as we start adding more graphics artists that become part of our supervillain network, that we need to start having some contests here, and it's just based off the ones that get the most reach and the most love on the post. And that one's, I don't even know where it's at right now. It might be over 15,000 by now, but damn, Elise, damn. Keep doing a good job. Morgan Smith, good morning. Hell yeah, how about them Tigers? I watched it yesterday. I mean, I took the afternoon off where I'm usually in here grinding and doing this, and I was like, I got to watch this game. And that was exciting. That was exciting. They went down 2-1, and then it just seems like, and they were lucky to get out at 2-1. They left some of those guys on base, and it really feels like the Tigers are a team of destiny, because they're playing better baseball than anyone right now. I called the sweep yesterday on the show. Go Tigers! Congrats. She doesn't even know about that yet. We're going to do something. We're going to do something for her, even if it's something small. We're all poor, but we're going to figure something out here. But welcome to the show, everybody. I am so proud of the Detroit Tigers. Make sure you get your comments in there about the Tigers. Show some love for the Tigers in here, as this thing stays up here forever. It'll be forever on the internet. Go Tigers. But here we are. This is lock pick week 5. So this is an odd week for me. That's why I'm kind of glad that the Tigers are doing well, because the Lions are on a bye. Any thoughts, questions, or concerns about the Detroit Lions going into the bye? When it comes, before Mike pops on here, I didn't even send, I'm so behind on all of this stuff. I keep on forgetting. I didn't even send an invite over there to Mark Schmidt. And I'm going to do that right now, because he's probably hit me up, and I'm surprised he didn't say anything. He might not be coming on today, but we'll see, because it's probably my fault that he's not on here. So I'm going to send this to him right now. I'm sorry. I got up late today. There you go. But no, comments, questions, or concerns about these Lions going into the bye week, because I think they answered some questions on this game that they just played. We broke it down yesterday with the PFF. It was on Wednesday instead of Tuesday. It's usually on Tuesday, and it probably will be for the rest of the season. But the next game that the Lions have is against the Dallas Cowboys, a revenge game. And the Lions answered some questions. I mean, especially offensively, because last year the offense carried the defense, and the defense wasn't great last year. And I'm not saying that it's great this year, but it's definitely better than it was last year. The defense actually carried the first two games, and it was nice to see the offense turn it around. And in the absence of Frank Ragnow, such a great player he is, one of my favorite players on the team. You know, when you're absent a guy like that, and then you overcome that, and I think that that's being missed, because I hear a lot of people talk about how many people that the Seattle Seahawks were missing in the middle of their defense. And it's like, oh no, we were only missing the best center in football. No big deal, right? Like, I mean, it's not like you're the only team that's injured that's out there. So you got to play with the roster that you have. And Graham Glasgow kicking over to center, and Awasika playing decent. Nothing to call home about. We looked over the scores yesterday. It wasn't great, but next man up. Get it done. Cool. I just got some good news. I got some good news on my phone right there as I bring in. I was gonna bring in, but he brought me up. Yes, Emmy nominated main event Mike in the house.
Sorry I'm late, Russ. I was trying to find Mark Schmidt.
I feel so bad. I got to a late start with everything this morning. I didn't get all my good graphics that I wanted to get done. Ran into some technical difficulties. I'm making excuses. I should just shut up. That's all right. But it is. We got here somehow through all the grit and the determination. It takes more. We got here, and we are here. We have main event Mike, and look at this. This is pretty cool to me. I don't know a lot about the Tigers team. You know, I'm not gonna sit here and lie and read the lineup off of a cue card and pretend like I followed this team all season. It's a surprise to a lot of people. What do you think about the Tigers not only making the playoffs? They had to be the best team in baseball just to make the playoffs. But now they're in there. And they just, well, there you go. Got Houston right out of there. And on our bye week, we get blessed, Mike. How do we get blessed? Well, there's not as much Lions stuff to talk about because they played their game and we're on a bye week. But the Detroit Tigers, Mike, what do you think about that?
It's nothing short of a miracle, Russ. This team was written off. The over-under on the Tigers at the beginning of the season was a couple games below 500. This team wasn't even expected to go over 500. And when Javi Baez went down with an injury, they were left for dead. And basically, the organization tanked the season. They said, okay, well, this isn't going anywhere. Let's bring up all the young guys from the farm system. And for a few years now, it's been rumored that the Tigers have one of the best farm systems in the league, these young players that they've been developing. So they said, let's bring them all up. Let's see what they can do. And they just go 22-8 over the next 30 games. And it's nothing short of a miracle. The last time a team did something like this was 1969. That was called the Miracle Mets. Okay. And they went on to win the World Series. So I don't want to get ahead of myself there. This is an extremely young team. They're trying to figure things out. But AJ Hinch is a grizzled veteran manager who's won a World Series before. So maybe he can steward this young team through the playoffs. I mean, we got Cleveland next. So they sewed up the division 3 weeks ago.
That's a litmus test right there for sure.
Yeah.
When you look at that, they barely made it. But here's the thing: there's just something about, because you always say this, and it applies to football too, which is it don't matter how you're playing at the beginning of the season. It's the teams that get hot at the end of the season. You know, I mean, look at Tampa Bay last year. Like, I mean, there's on the football side. So this Tigers team, because when you think about that record, 22, that's amazing. That means that they're the hottest team in baseball. It doesn't matter what happened. They play so many games, like 700 games. All right. And it really just matters what you're doing now. And they have a couple of really, really good players in Riley Green and Scooble as a pitcher. And I think everything kind of trickles down from there because those guys are superstars. I know that they have this salary right now. It was funny. They had a stat last night. It's crazy. But the pitcher that came in for the Houston Astros in the 8th inning, what the hell is his name? I can't remember what his name was, but they said that they just paid him an ass load of money. That his salary alone, the one guy they brought in the 8th inning, is more than the entire roster of the Detroit Tigers. That one pitcher by the way, we scored the 4 runs on. The pitcher that they paid all the money to that lost them the game, let's add that to it, has a bigger salary than the entire Detroit Tigers roster. That's crazy to me. One guy. Baseball's weird. They don't have a salary cap per se because you could still overspend it. So the billionaires can just go buy players in a sense. They just got to pay a luxury tax. Is that how?
Sure.
I'm not going to pretend to be an expert on that, but let's jump in here to the comments before we transition into our lock picks because we're going to do them regardless of whether Mark Schmidt shows up or not. And he might be taking a week off, dude. It's a bye week. You know? Yep. Important people go do important stuff on their bye weeks. We're not important. So we're
prediction Thursday, though. Got to be here.
Hell yeah. How about them Tigers? Congrats to Elise. Yeah, I was telling her we're going to do something special for Elise. We ain't going to tell her what it is, but she wins our graphics artist of the month. We're starting this. And there's only a couple of them in there. By the way, if you do graphics art, and you want a gigantic platform, make sure that you message us because we may be able to give you a gigantic platform to do your graphics art. But
does that make Elise the first super villain of the month?
She's going to be the first super villain of the month. The number one right there. Very prestigious award. I'm sure that you'll hang it up and be very proud of it.
I mean, it's nothing compared to the Medal of Honor. Let's be completely honest.
Keep it real right there. Don't trigger anybody, Mike. Come on. Mark says Lions have to use the bye week to get everybody healthy. And we were talking at the beginning of the season about that, how it's awful to have a bye week this early. And now it really just seems like this bye week's coming at about the perfect time because we're going to get some players back come this Dallas game. You know, you're going to probably get Frank the Tank back, you know, because he was thinking about playing. Crazy guy tear his chest, and he's like, whatever, put me in, coach. You use your chest to block, right? Whatever, I'll get it. And Frank will do it. He'll go out there and pull his chest off and hit you with it. I mean, Frank Frank don't care. And Brian Branch will be better. The illness will be better. So we're going to get those two players back. Broderick Martin, these 4-week stints that are the injured reserve when they put them on the short-term IR. Well, those guys can come off of IR, and Broderick Martin is one of those people. So we're going to get a shot in the arm in defensive tackle come this Dallas game. Sorry.
Your comments are on fire.
What's that?
Your comments, they're on fire.
Okay. You want to good morning, Paul. Yeah, you take it. You can read better. You got glasses on.
Oh, Jones says Elise Means wins. It's rigged. She says, do I win a meet and greet with the Sun God? Paul says, no, you win a meet and greet with Main Event Mike. What a letdown that would be. Gosh.
Oh, yeah.
Sun God.
Hey, we got to make this happen for her. I don't know. If you're watching Amon Ra, which I doubt you are, but if you are, yeah, we got to set this up. Elise is probably your biggest fan. I'm just saying.
Russ and I have set it as a goal, at least. It is one of our goals, long-term goals. We also want to have our own suite at Ford Field. So just to tell you how far off we are from our goals. But having you meet the Sun God is definitely on our list. But it's Prediction Thursday, and you're watching the Villain Report, hosted by Russell Wayne. Are you ready to jump into this now, Russ?
Not yet. Actually, I meant to put up a different one. I'm sorry, because Jeffrey was in there. And Jeffrey, and I love it when he says he's present and accounted for. He is very official, and he is very official in the way that he runs this group. He helps with here, and we have Paul Jones also helping in this group. And let me tell you how important it is, because this is the best Detroit Lions group that's out there. And I'm going to tell you why. It's because all of the other groups that I go to have at least some of these stupid posts, Mike, that are like, players died in a plane accident. All these stupid articles having people trying to sell tickets. Like Jeffrey, Paul, Michael, yourself, myself, we make sure that all of those posts stay out of there. This is a Detroit Lions-based group right here, and we would love you to go over and join that group, and we'll take care of you there. You ain't got to worry about all that BS in there, thanks to Jeffrey Addison and Paul Jones. So thanks, guys. I appreciate that.
Paul Jones says, from the Sun God to the Nun God. That's me. I'm the Nun God. She gets to meet me instead of her. But, I have more Emmy nominations than Amon Ra, so just saying.
That's right. That's true. That is true. Herder. That's what his name. It was Herder. Herder. That's the name of the pitcher. Thank you, Mark, for putting that in there. That pitcher makes more money than the entire Detroit Tigers roster. All of them. All of them combined. Herder makes more money. And he gave up 4 runs in the 8th inning to lose the game. Congratulations, Herder. You have just been deemed a waste of money by your entire fan base.
I love this call from Fred Peterson. The very first play versus the Cowboys, we need to have Decker report as eligible. That's hilarious.
Oh, man. I even talked about that a little bit yesterday, but let's get in. Before we don't have enough time, let's make sure that we get in here. Let me share this thing. And I know there's only 2 of us. And if we get through these early, let's get back into some of these discussions right here.
That's all right. I got things pressing anyway. I got to jump off of here as soon as we're done with the predictions. But I will tell you that last week, Mark Schmidt, former Detroit Lion, had 9 correct picks. He was the winner last week. He did not hit his lock pick. You and I did. But he had 9 victories out of 16. That's the first time he's gone over 500. Russ, you were 8 out of 16. Myself, only 6 out of 16. But you and I both hit our lock picks. My lock pick was the Lions. Yours was the Washington Commanders, and Mark Schmidt picked the Pittsburgh Steelers, and he lost with his lock pick. But now it's week 5, and the Lions are on a bye, and it's time to get into these predictions. Put it in the comments. Let us know what you think. Follow along with us if you like. You're watching the Villain Report on the Villain Squad Network, hosted by Russell Wayne, and we're here every weekday plus Saturday at 10 a.m. But on Thursdays, it's just about talking about this week's games. And this week's games have a lot of divisional matchups. And the first one is tonight at 8:15. It's the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at the Atlanta Falcons -2. So the Dirty Birds favored by 2 at home against the Bucs. This is a tough one to call. Atlanta, the 2 games they've won, they pulled out. The 2 games that they lost were close. So they've been competitive in every game. Tampa Bay getting 2 points, though. I'll take that on the road. I'll take the Baker Mayfields and the points.
Yeah, I'm not calling it my lock pick right here, but I'm a little more confident on this one. And not necessarily who the winner or the loser is going to be. It's just that it's going to come down and it's going to be a 1-point type of game. And I'm going to take the Tampa Bay Buccaneers as well. I'll take the points all freaking day long. This is going to be I love this game. This might be the first Thursday night game since they put it over on that the Amazon Prime with that. Last year was just awful for Thursday night football. This may be the first Thursday night football match that I've actually looked forward to, you know?
Right, absolutely. Joseph in the comments says, after hearing our record on the predictions, he says, so throwing a dart may have better outcome? No, because darts require skill, okay? But flipping a coin might have about the same outcome. But I will tell you, folks, before you poo-poo the whole thing, we call Russell Wayne the Swami for a reason. It's very hard to predict NFL games when you're using the point spread, okay? The best handicappers in the world can only hit 56%. When it comes to the lock picks, Russell Wayne last year hit 13 out of 18. The year before that, he hit 12 out of 18. And if you don't believe me, you can go to our YouTube channel at Villain Squad and look in our archive and look it up for yourself. It's an unbelievable percentage on the lock picks. So that's really what we go with here. We give the lock picks at the end, but anybody, when you're talking about picking point spreads, rarely does anyone ever pick over 65%. If you're picking 65% with point spreads, Vegas will call you and hire you.
Right.
Okay, because they are always so close with how they put the point spreads. So, and another thing to think about, there were 4 games last week that we actually picked the right team, but they lost by a point or a half a point. 4 games, a point or a half a point. And in that case, Russell Wayne would have had 12 out of 16, and you'd be singing a different tune at that point.
Hey,
next game on the slate.
It's just tough to pick these. That Vegas is so good at these, and I'm just going to keep going. I'll keep scrolling through here, but this is these are hard to pick.
They're
hard to pick because Vegas knows. I mean, within like a half a point, it's crazy how good they are.
What was see now the point spread I had was a 1.5 on Tampa Atlanta. What did you have on there?
What's that?
What was the point spread on the last game? Okay, so the point spread has moved in the last 30 minutes, folks. Russ and I both used DraftKings to get our lines, and 30 minutes ago, I wrote these down, and it was 1.5. Atlanta was minus 1.5, but now it's 2 at the time of the prediction. I like that even better. That means a lot of money was put on Tampa.
Yeah. So that's a good team, man. That's a good team.
Brodsky says, any significant injuries? Yes. Vita Vea out for the Buccaneers. I think Antoine Winfield Jr. also still out for the Buccaneers. They say that Bijan Robinson is nursing a hamstring. He's listed as questionable.
Yeah, I don't worry about players for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers because Todd Bowles, like when you call next man up type of things with Tampa Bay on that defense, I think that they go 3 deep on every position of good quality players. They're a lot like the Lions in that way because I felt good about our depth last week and it showed out, you know, and that's good. But I like that call too. So the money's going on Tampa Bay, guys. But
Next game on the docket is the Jets at the Minnesota Vikings. That's the 4-0 Minnesota Vikings. And the Vikings are -2.5. Look, I'm going to take the Jets here. I think the Jets are going to win this game outright. This is part of the Sam Darnold revenge tour, but at some point the Vikings have to come down. And I think the Jets is a good spot for them to come down. Even though they're at home, I'll take the 2.5. Oh, that's right. This is in London. Wait a minute. This is in London. That kind of throws things out the door. I wonder why. Yeah, I'm definitely taking the Jets here, especially that this is in London. The spread is 2.5. I like it.
Yeah, man. And I love you. Hey, you guys are on it in the comments right there. Get those things out there, and that way you get your point spread in whatever game we're talking about. But man, the Jets is a tough. You're just waiting for it to break out. They got Brees Hall. They got great skill position. I think they have a pretty good offensive line. Aaron Rodgers is in there.
Great
The defense is awesome.
They might have Devontae Adams by the end of the week.
So, I mean, eventually Minnesota's going to come back down to earth, because the thing is like, and here's the thing: don't kill the messenger here. I am not talking shit on the Minnesota Vikings right here, but you're not going to go 17-0. You just aren't. And the NFL does this up and down right there. And you're going to get figured out a couple of times during the season. That's what they do with tape. Now there's 4 games out on you. Eventually you're going to lose a game. But I don't know if it's going to be this one, but I'll take the Jets and the points. I'll take the points, because if you do beat them, it's going to be a low-scoring game. That's going to be a defensive struggle, I think.
Right. Henry says the Jets. Joseph says Aaron is washed, so I guess he's taking the Vikings to go 5-0. Mark says Minnesota and the points. And David, thank you for the call out that this game is in London. I forgot about that. And Broski says on that last one, he's definitely going to take Atlanta, given the 2 points.
Yeah.
Next game on the docket is the Cleveland Browns, coming off a demoralizing loss at the Washington Commanders, 3-1. The biggest surprise so far. I realize that the Vikings being 4-0 is a big surprise, but the Washington Commanders leading the NFC East, 3-1, and their rookie quarterback looks like a superstar in the making. This is the biggest story of the year so far, folks. I know Sam Darnold, it's a feel-good thing, but Jaden Daniels is the real story this year. Cleveland at Washington, -3.5. If you'd have told me at the beginning of the season that in week 5, the Commanders would be favored by 3.5 over the Browns defense, I'd tell you we're crazy. I'm taking the Cleveland Browns here, and I'm going to take the points. The Washington Commanders also have to come back down to earth. Russ, you've been riding the Commanders for 3 weeks straight. What do you think?
I'm done riding them, because you end up running into him, and Myles Garrett is him. And Myles Garrett and that Cleveland Browns defense is going to make them work. Like, he hasn't, the Washington Commanders have not seen, Jaden Daniels has not seen a defense that's like the Cleveland Browns defense yet. So I think he comes back down to earth. I'll take Cleveland and the points. I think Cleveland's going to win the game outright.
Okay. Next game on the docket, the Baltimore Ravens at the Cincinnati Bengals. The Bengals finally get off the schneid, and now they got to play the Ravens. They're fortunate that they're at home. +2.5, Russ. I need a second to think about this one. I'm going to kick it over to you first. Ravens -2.5 on the road.
I don't need that anytime to think about that one. I'll take the Ravens all day long. The Ravens are going to pound the Bengals with Derrick Henry. They're not going to be able to stop him. The Baltimore Ravens are coming out. They had their coming out party right there with King Henry. And if they stay with that game plan, there's not a damn thing that Cincinnati can do about it.
Mm-hmm. I'm also going to ride the Ravens just based on the way that Derrick Henry's been running the last 2 weeks. I mean, Cincinnati, their run defense hasn't been top 10 this year, and that's what you're going to need to stop Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson. So that I think this one's like a no-brainer. This might be a front runner for lock pick for me. Henry says Ravens. Mark says Ravens. David says everyone says Ravens. So what's next?
So that just means that Cincinnati is going to win by
right,
20.
right. And since he's getting 2.5, it's a divisional game. And even though, all these things you say, when it's a divisional game, you could throw a lot of that stuff out the window. A lot of divisional games on the docket this week. Next is not a divisional game. It's the Carolina at Chicago Bears -4. Carolina and Chicago Bears. Chicago Bears should just let Carolina win this game just to say thank you for what they did, that Bryce Young trade, to give them DJ Moore, to give them Darnell Wright, Romo Dunze, all these players to change their franchise's trajectory. They should just let the Carolina Panthers win this game, but they won't. Andy Dalton goes into Chicago, part of the Andy Dalton revenge tour. Interesting, Andy Dalton this year for the Carolina Panthers will play every team that he's ever played for, all 4 teams on his schedule this week. So it's definitely the revenge tour for Andy Dalton. I'm going to go out on a limb and take Carolina because I'm getting the points, and the Bears are the Bears. What do you think, Russ?
Yeah, well, I think the Bears are going to win the game, but they're not gonna cover that 4. So I'll take the Carolina and the points, but the Bears got to win this game. Like if you want to be taken serious, this should be a get right game for Caleb Williams to kind of come out, because all you got to do is get into the hands of those playmakers, guy. I mean, you got playmakers. There's really no excuse. You just need to get into NFL defenses. NFL defenses are fast. And
Broski's probably losing his shit right now because you and I both picked the Panthers against the Bears.
But the points, I think the Bears are going to win the game. I think the Bears are going to win the game. I really do. I just think it's going to be closer than 4 points.
I like these 4 points. Carolina's playing good right now. Andy Dalton has energized the team. That Chicago Bears defense is pretty tough. And Carolina's not the team that's been running the ball really good. It's been Andy Dalton throwing for over 300 yards that's caused them to start winning. So this is a bad bet, I think, but I'm going to stick with my pick and ride the Panthers here at the Bears. Dwayne agrees with us. He says Panthers too. But David agrees too that we like these points here.
That could be construed as us just hating on the Bears. So that's all right. That's all right. I'm sure that the Bears are all picking themselves. I mean,
right. And Andy Dalton on the revenge tour. Speaking of revenge, the Buffalo Bills at the Houston Texans. This is the Stephon Diggs revenge game. Man, this is going to be a good one, folks. This is a game I would love to watch. Hopefully it's available in my area because, during the bye week, we got to be picky and choosy about what we do. Buffalo at Houston +1. So Buffalo favored by a point on the road. Man, this is such a tough one. I can't stand Stephon Diggs. I'm going to take Buffalo, even though Houston probably wins this game. I'm taking Buffalo because I can't stand Stephon Diggs, and I hope that Buffalo wins this game. Who you got, Russ?
I'm going to take Buffalo -1, but I was watching this interview with, I think it was a defensive back. I can't remember who it was, but he was talking about the hardest quarterback. The hardest quarterback to play, and a lot of people would tell him that it was Lamar Jackson, and he told that reporter that it was Josh Allen would be the scariest quarterback that you could face. And you said something about this at the beginning of the season, and it made sense the way that he explained it, because Josh Allen is 250 pounds and he can run. And he can run with the football, and he can make every single throw that's out there. He said that's the most dangerous thing by far, is a quarterback that stays in the pocket. He can make it off platform, or he can run the ball. He can kill you both ways. And then when he was compared to Lamar Jackson, he said Lamar Jackson you want to keep him in a bubble. You want to can make him throw from that spot, because when he goes off platform, that's where he's better. He's actually better off platform. So they said that the Kansas City Chiefs would stop Lamar Jackson because they would keep him contained in the pocket. They wouldn't let him. They make him throw from the pocket, even to the detriment of the, defensive backfield and covering wide receivers. Keep Lamar Jackson in the pocket. He said all bets are off with Josh Allen.
Are you taking Josh Allen in this one, Russ?
I am taking Josh Allen -1.
I am going to switch my pick, and I'm going to take the Houston Texans, and I'll tell you why. Because Joe Mixon comes back. They'll be able to run the ball like Derrick Henry did against Buffalo last week. David makes a good point that Buffalo got smoked last week by Baltimore, and that's going to make them ready to come back hard to win this game against Houston. So I do like that call. But Houston will be able to run the ball, and guess what? No Von Miller for Buffalo. He's been suspended 4 games for domestic violence. So I think without Von Miller and the presence of Dameon Pierce and Joe Mixon, a 1-2 punch in the backfield, I think Houston gets it done at home. I'm going to go ahead and take the Texans and split with you on this one.
Oh, man. I want to change it, but I like the split between me. I may regret that. I didn't. The Von Miller kind of slapped me in the face right there.
Mark Gagne says this game will be a shootout. So the over-under, you see there's 47.5. So 24 points by each team, and you're going to hit the over. That's a toughie for me. It's also minus money on both the over and the under, so I'd probably stay away from that. But Mark thinks it's going to be a shootout. Man, good defense there in Houston as well. So I'm liking my pick of Houston in this game more and more the more I break it down. You're watching the Villain Report right here, hosted by Russell Wayne on the Villain Squad Network, brought to you by NFL Shop. The Villain Squad is an official affiliate marketing partner of NFL Shop. You can see a QR code there on your screen. Click on that QR code. We'll wait. And then you can get any NFL swag you want. You can even get a Packers jersey if you want, or a Bears jersey if you want, broski. And if you're going to go buy, something from NFL Shop anyway, you might as well save 25% and leverage the power of the Villain. Next game on the slate, those Indianapolis Colts with the ageless wonder Joe Flacco under center at the Jacksonville Jaguars. This is another divisional game. I think Jacksonville finally gets right. A lot of stuff going on in the media this week with Jacksonville. Doug Peterson, the reporters asking him, is this, what could you do better? Is this your fault? He laid it straight on the players, which I thought was horrible. But I'm going to go ahead and take Jacksonville because they're at home. They have been a total disaster all year, and they need to get right. And I think against Indiana, Indianapolis is a good chance for them. Russell, you got Jacksonville laying 3 at home against the Colts. Oh, you got 2.5. That means the line has gone down. The line's
moved because I wish that I could have gotten the 3, but I'm going to take the Colts and the points for everything that you just said about the Jacksonville Jaguars. That team's falling apart at the seams. I expect them to go backwards before they go forwards, and Indianapolis is coming off pretty good stretch of football. So I don't know how good Anthony Richardson is going to be, but he's good for one bomb play to, Pierce, and, they got Jonathan Taylor. I don't know. I think that ship might be righting. So give me the Colts on the points.
Brent, Mark, Henry all say the Colts. David's the lone outlier. He's riding with me and the Jaguars. Next up, another divisional game. The Miami Dolphins with Hot Rod Hundley under center at the New England Patriots -1. I'm going to take New England here. Miami is the disaster of the year with what happened to Tua. He may still come back, but think about it, folks. Tua can never take another hit, really. If he comes back again, how can he possibly come back? The guy cannot get hit again. He just can't. I just don't see it happening. This is going to be a tank year. Also, Jalen Phillips, the great defensive tackle for Miami, going to IR, having season-ending shoulder surgery announced this morning. I'm taking New England -1 at their own home stadium. Who you got, Russ?
Yeah, I'm just gonna pick against you. I mean, it's a pick 'em game when it's one. It's just like who's going to win the game. But I'll take the Dolphins. I'll take the Dolphins, and Tyreek Hill. They got playmakers, and Huntley's not a disaster, man. That dude's won in this league. So
right, he made a Pro Bowl in 2022.
And New England to me is a disaster. So.
Well, Gerard Mayo, first-time head coach, has those guys playing pretty good over there in New England. They're competitive in every game, it seems. So I think at home against a depleted Miami team, this time you're not going to win a lot of games in New England this year, but this is one you can definitely go get. And I think the players will be fired up to go get it.
Well, I'll change my mind next week, man, because I keep these things in mind when they let me down. And like the Dolphins was one of those teams that had some high expectations. And I know that nobody thinks that Tua is going to come back. But the thing is he's going to come off that four-game IR stint, and it's a concussion. So it's like if he has no symptoms of the concussion, he's going to be back out there again, regardless of whether I think it's dumb I think he should retire. I think Miami should talk him into retiring so they can save all that money, because all that cap money, they won't get penalized for the cap money if he retires, and they move on from him and retire and have your life. That's what I would say. But, I mean, he's young. He's young.
I actually heard a report on satellite radio that said that he could walk away and and he'd have $90 million. That's how his contract is structured. So he could get $90 million to walk away. Next is game on the slate is also a divisional game. And just to give you a little context here, folks, for the first 5 games of the slate today, Russ and I were aligned. We picked the same team. On the last 3 picks, we have been split. I have taken the home team in every one. He has taken the road team. We now come to another divisional matchup. It's the Arizona Cardinals at the San Francisco 49ers, -7. I'm going to take Arizona here. They got waxed by Washington. Ever since they played the Lions, something hasn't been off about this Arizona team. This is a divisional game. I'm taking Arizona here only because of the 7 points, and it's a divisional game. Russ, I expect you'll probably go the other way on this one.
I wasn't going to, but I'm talking myself into it while I'm sitting right here. I'm like, how can I go against Mike on this? I hate laying that many points. You know how my style is. I hate laying that many points. But, God, man, this feels like an at-home old school Candlestick Park beat down here. Like, this feels like the San Francisco 49ers have been disrespected a little bit, by, and this is supposed to be one of the best teams in the division, or not in the division, but the entire conference, as one of the people. So I think they're going to go in there and put the boots on them. So I'll take San Francisco -7.
Yeah, that's probably a good pick. San Francisco beat New England last week 30-13 at their
I think
dome.
they're pissed off after that Minnesota loss.
Mm-hmm.
I think that black and blue mark, they wake up every day with a shiner that they got from Minnesota, and they're like, oh, those damn Vikings.
Next game on the docket is one that I'm going to make you pick first. This is another divisional game. The Las Vegas Raiders at the Denver Broncos. They say that Devontae Adams has what's called a quotation hamstring injury. That's a name I just gave it because he has a hamstring injury. Wink, wink, wink. After requesting a trade, I firmly believe that if he finds a suitable trade partner, that hammy's going to be just fine. I hate this. I hate this for the Raiders. They're at Denver, but Denver's given up 2.5 with a rookie quarterback. This one's tough, Russ. I'm going to make you pick first.
Oh my God. If Devontae plays, I mean, that's a pretty big if, right? I like this Bo Nix. as a QB. I think that he can be a good pro in this league. Gosh, man, this is a tough one to pick.
That's why I made you go first.
-2.5. If it was 1, I would take Denver. Like, oh, that
Right.
point, that point's killing me. That point is killing me. But gosh, -2.5. No, give me the Raiders and the points.
Woo-wee.
Damn it.
I am going to take the Denver Broncos because this kind of a thing can really be an infection in a locker room when a star player is obviously disgruntled and wants out. This thing can linger. If they don't trade him by the time this game kicks off, I think this is going to be a distraction. And I think Sean Payton's going to jump all over that in a divisional game. A lot of these division games, they split through the season and the home team will win their game. I don't like the 2.5 either, but I'm riding against you and I'm going to take Denver.
Yeah, but the mustache is equal to 1 point. So there you go. You just messed up. Because that makes it 3.5. No,
that's true.
The mustache makes up a
points.
full point.
Remember, Mark, Denver's laying 2.5. They aren't getting those points. So,
yep, and the mustache makes it 3.5. Just saying. I'm kidding.
After watching the receiver series on Netflix, I have a lot of admiration for Davante Adams as a person, but this really is kind of ridiculous. He's following his bum buddy Derek Carr and following the lead led by Derek Carr. I want out. Yeah, I can't win. I want out. So I'm really losing respect for Davante Adams and Raider Nation. This could be a real problem for them. Next game, New York Giants at the Seattle Seahawks, -6.5. Seattle's going to be, they are so mad. There's a lot of Seahawk fans on our page that are really claiming the refs won the game and all this ridiculous stuff. Seattle's pissed. Their fans are pissed. I think they're going to boot stomp the Giants at home. I would even bump up this. In fact, I'm going to go out on a limb and make this my lock pick. Devin Singletary is questionable for the game. If you're not going to be able to run the ball on Seattle, I think you're going to be in trouble with Julian Love and Devin Witherspoon and Tariq Woolen in that secondary. I think they get Nwosu, the linebacker, back as well. I think the Seattle Seahawks win this by more than a touchdown. What do you got, Russ?
I'm going to agree with you, and I'm just going to make that part of it short and sweet. And I'll just say that if you're complaining about the refs, Seahawk fans, I mean, really 13 points. You were never really in that game to begin with. And I could say that some of your PIs that kept your drives going were questionable. So it works both ways when it works like that. I'll give you the offensive pass interference wasn't a good call for you, but I think that was a makeup call because they gave you 3 first downs on the previous drive through PIs and holding, and those were not all holds. Sorry.
The Giants do have a couple things going in their favor. They have an outstanding, stout defensive line and a good core of linebackers, so they should be able to mitigate Kenneth Walker and the run. But also the Giants have to travel clear across the country. That's always a tough a road for East Coast teams to go over there. So I just too many things stacked against the Giants for them to pull this one out. Our buddy Jeremy B is in the comments. He says take the points with the G-men because Seattle may be pissed, but they won't get the same offensive production. Geno's overrated. Yeah, I get where you're saying there, but they put up 29 in Ford Field. I think they can manage to best the Giants by 6.5.
Jeremy's going to change me then. Just so you and I can pick against. I'll take the G-men and the points. I ain't scared. There you go. Jeremy, I'm riding with you. I'm riding with Jeremy on this one.
Thanks, Jeremy. Checks in the mail. I will do anything to outpick Russell at this point.
And that way, if I lose, then I can just blame Jeremy.
I texted Jeremy before the show. And say, hey, tell Russ to take the Giants. Sway him. All right, here we go. Green Bay at the Rams. Man, what a tough one this is. The Rams are getting 3 at their building because they have no wide receivers. but they do have Kyron Williams, and you can run on Green Bay, and you're at home, and I love home underdogs. I'm taking the Rams.
Yeah, I got to take the points and the Rams at home. That to me, gosh, man, with the that's going to be closer than that. Stafford's going to make it close. That's what Stafford does.
Mm-hmm.
This one, I'm writing this one down right here. This one might be my lock pick. I don't know
yet. Moving on.
3 points at home. Get the hell out of here.
Right. Even if Green Bay
Stafford,
wins,
you're going to give me Matt Stafford 3 points at home.
Right. Even if Green Bay wins, is Malik Willis gonna cover the spread, or is one-legged Jordan Love gonna cover the spread? I think that's a tough sell. So yeah, we're both of us riding with the Rams. Put it in the comments. Tell us what you think. We only got a couple games left. The next game on the docket is the Sunday night game. It's a rematch of a couple of Super Bowls from the past. It's the Dallas Cowboys at the Pittsburgh Steelers. Pittsburgh Steelers coming off a loss. Mark Schmidt got his lock pick wrong. Indy upsets Pittsburgh, and they're going to be mad. And they are -2.5 because they're at home. As much as I want Pittsburgh to win this game, I'm going to take Dallas. Pittsburgh started 3-0. I think it's not a stretch to think they lose the next two. Justin Fields, do you really believe in that? Main event, Mike, riding with the Cowboys.
I'm going to pick the Cowboys too, and for maybe just a little bit of hopium. I want the Cowboys to win this game. I do not want them to lose the game heading into our matchup with them. So I am hoping that the Dallas Cowboys win, and having 2.5 points on top of that works. That's nice too.
Yeah, I think this spread might be less if Micah Parsons was going to play, but he's not going to play. So you're also taking the Cowboys, Russell.
Yeah, I'll take the Cowboys and the points.
Okay. Next is the Monday night game. This is our last game to predict for the week because, of course, as you know, the bye weeks kick in this week, so we don't have a full 16 games on the slate. It's the New Orleans Saints at the Kansas City Chiefs. New Orleans flying high right now. Even though they lost last week, they got the number one scoring offense in the league still. At the two-time defending world champions, -5.5. I'm going to take the Chiefs because Derek Carr's the bum.
Well, man, the New Orleans Saints have been better than that this year. That's this. Gosh, man, I'm going to have a hard time with my lock pick, Rab. I'll take the New Orleans and the points all day. They've been playing good, and the defense is why they've been doing well. They still have Alvin Kamara too. So
there you go, folks. 8 of the final 9 games, Russ and I split. What do we got in the comments here? Mark says KC wins, but take New Orleans with the points. David says lock it in, the Saints. Jeremy B says he takes the Chiefs on that one. So there you go. So one thing I wanted to allude to, Russ, before I jump off of here is maybe I understand why Mark didn't make it on today. Could it be because Kentucky beat Ole Miss on Saturday? A 17.5 point underdog, and main event Mike was the only one that took Kentucky. And
no, that is totally justified.
Ole Miss does not show up. And the only time we picked a college game all year, but it was really interesting anyway. And we appreciate Mark Schmidt for being on the program. Hopefully he'll be back next Thursday for our predictions. And Russ, I got a jet, but I really appreciate it. Love your show.
What's your lock pick?
Oh, my lock pick. Oh, that's right. It's time now for the lock pick of the week, brought to you by NFLshop.com. My lock pick of the week is the Seattle Seahawks, -6.5 against the G-Men.
All right, let me get this thing out of the way. And my lock pick, I'm going to go ahead and do it. Give me Stafford. Give me the points. Lock it in. The Green Bay Packers.
Russell and I both 3-1 on our lock picks this season. He's got the Rams +3. I got the Seahawks -6.5. Follow along. We love having you here in the chat. Everybody have a great day. I'm out.
That's Main Event Mike right there. You can join him on Monday nights at 7 p.m. with the Main Event Football Show. You know why? Because it takes more. This has been our special edition of Lock Picks Thursday. Even though we don't have a Lions game, that's all right. I appreciate everybody that's been contributing to the comments. The comments are booming. I love it. I love that you guys are active in the comments. Give a congratulations again out to the Detroit Tigers for moving on to the ALDS, the division round against the Guardians. And that is a beautiful thing. That is a beautiful thing. And this is the main event. This is the Lion Villain Report. You can join me every day at 10 a.m. talking Lions football, maybe even a little bit of Tigers now. We love it. We love having two gritty teams here in Detroit. It feels good. Can you smell what The Rock is cooking? I think The Rock's going to become part of our villain cast. And The Rock says this: know your role and shut your mouth. The Rock likes the Lion Villain Squad because they represent. If you smell what The Rock is cooking, Sam Donald Schwarzenegger. I'm going to throw for lots of yards against the Jets. You can do it. Come on. Get open. Justin Jefferson, I'm going to throw you the ball. I'm Donald Schwarzenegger. Reminds me of a story that if Christopher Walken was here, he'd tell you a story about the Villain Report, the Lions Villain Report. It's in the mornings every day at 10 a.m. You can watch it. It'd be good for you. It could be good for you. It could be good for your life. He's got the lock picks. You can make some money. Get the lock picks. Let me tell you something, Mean Gene. We need all my Hulkamaniacs out there, brother. We're gonna get this offensive line healthy, dude. And then we're gonna go down to Dallas. And then with the prayers, the training, and the vitamins, Hulkamania and Dan Campbell and the Detroit Lions will be running wild all over the Dallas Cowboys, brother. What you gonna do when the Detroit Lions run wild on you? Hey, Beavis. The Lions kick ass. The Lions are cool. Yeah, the Lions, they were cool. They were winning a game. Yeah. Shut up, dumbass. The Lions are awesome. So. What's up, Steve? I'm sorry. I'm spending a little bit of extra time on here. I just wanted to get some of my. I got The Rock. You know, I thought that was The Rock right there. There's Andre the Giant holding a baby rock. You think you impress The Rock with your rock? Listen here, you big dummy. The Rock says know your role and shut your mouth, Green Bay Packer fans. I'll tell you what The Rock is going to do. The Rock is going to take that piece of cheese. He's going to turn that sumbitch sideways. He's going to stick it straight up your candy ass. The Lions need a rock bottom. That's what they need. They need a finishing move. I think they got it together. It was nice to see the offense do that thing. It's the Lion Villain Report. Thank you to everybody that follows the Facebook page, that likes, shares, comments on any of these posts on this. Follow the page and the other 54,000 people. We're going to be hitting 55,000 here. I'm not even going to make a 54,000 one because we went up to 55,000. We're going to have 55,000 probably by the end of the week. So thank you to everybody that follows the Lions Villain Squad Facebook page. Thank you to everybody that subscribes to the YouTube channel, which is at Villain Squad. At the Lions Villain Squad. And then thank you to Joe Chapp and the boys over at the Detroit Lions News Podcast and the JC Sports Network. Hell, I'm even going live right now on Joe Chapp's Twitter. Thank you to Joe Chapp's Twitter. I got to get a nice little thing in here. I got to get a graphic for Joe Chapp's Twitter. Thank you to Elise Memes, our super villain of the month. I'm still going to thank you, Stephen Michael. We have great graphics artists on here. They're putting up great content. It's faith, family, and football here at the Villain Squad. It's in that order, and it's important that it stays in that order. Faith, family, and then football. We use football to create memories and spend time with our family. We don't let football use us. And may the Lord bless you. May the Lord keep you. May the Lord shine his face upon you until we meet again tomorrow morning for the Villain Report. God bless. Take care.
Hey, yo, the lies told that you never make it. Hopeless, so it seems. Eyes closed, candles open wide to embrace your dreams. Sometimes you gotta take a loss just to get the win. Like lots of sin was popping in like oxygen when boxes wet. Focus on the mental, never lose like smooth instrumental. Better choose on the move in a pinto. Choose what I get to, never lose move on the move, but it's simple. Never give up and we won it and maybe we just keep winning, we conquering daily. Envision and pay me, it's never this way. Me indigenous, maybe we winning is crazy. Your opportunity, your opportunity, your opportunity, it's your opportunity, your opportunity, your opportunity, your opportunity, it's your opportunity, your opportunity, your opportunity, your